Welcome back to On Assignment for Alignment with Aya Naima, and today we have a very special, beautiful guest, Rissa. How are you
Hello.
today?
I am multitasking.
Yes, what does that mean?
I've been at work all day and I'm just getting off. And then after this, I'm gonna go pick up my son, and then I'm in mommy mode. So
Okay,
we're just doing
period.
all the things.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm really excited to have you on here because I'm just getting down from a BPD episode. I posted about it
I
yesterday.
saw that. How are you
Yes.
feeling?
I feel a lot better now. I'm telling you, I feel so much better when I'm putting myself into things that make me feel good. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm like, I'm even when I go through episodes and I don't feel like getting out of it, I'm like, okay, now you dragging it, girl. Get your ass
Right.
up and do things that make you feel good, you know?
Yeah.
Do you
No.
have that experience?
Yes. My episodes, well, you know how it is. I feel like people with BPD can relate a lot, but it can also come out differently for everyone. I know
Yeah.
for me, I think when I'm in my episodes, the ones that I really hate is my depressive episodes.
Mm.
Because I'm rotting in my bed and the world is over. I'm just done with everything and nothing just matters and those are the worst ones. But I also have other episodes where I'm really manic and I'm being really impulsive and
Mm.
sometimes I don't even realize that that's what I'm doing, and I have to stop myself
That's
sometimes.
the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the
I'll be feeling
one.
crazy as hell. I'll be like, hold up.
I'm
Hold up.
what the hell are you doing, girl? I have to literally stop myself because I'm just too much.
For real. I'm feeling the same way. I 100% feel you. It's so crazy that you say that when you get in your depressive episodes, that feels crippling, you can't get out of bed, because I feel like it's the opposite for me, but it's as far as I get really really anxious, I'm on the edge of my seat, but that is crippling as well, so it's not I'm down, but it's I'm up, but it's I don't even know where to direct my energy, because I just I'm nuts. I'm going off the
That could
rocker,
be. You have ADHD too, right? That
Yeah,
could
I
be
do.
that too, because I'm just not realizing that there's these things are separate from each other, and
Mm,
they're all just clashing together, and I'm just now realizing it's not all BPD. I have
yeah.
ADHD too, and it's just so annoying to tell the difference, because you have to cater to both of them different. I feel
Mm.
and so sometimes it's hard for me to what's the word? I can't say that word. Differentiate.
Differentiate. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I it's hard for me to tell the difference sometimes. So I get so frustrated.
Yeah, you definitely just opened my eyes with that, because I never even thought about it, the fact that both of them have to be catered to differently,
Yeah, and that's not always the case, because you can treat it the same, but I think in some situations you do have to kind of think a little differently, because it's not gonna always work the same.
Yeah, you're right. So, in what ways do you cater to ADHD and then BPD differently? What ways do you do? I'm curious. I'm asking for myself.
Asking for a friend. I'm still figuring that out. Girl, I'm struggling. I really just I don't even know. I'm going crazy too. I'm going through my episodes too, but when I at least try to, I know that music really helps me.
Mm.
I'm literally in I don't know about you. I don't know where you are at in your recovery, but I know for me, I'm at the very beginning, and
Me too.
I don't really have any coping mechanisms, and I need to give myself a little bit more grace, because I do be trying some stuff, but it doesn't really seem like it sometimes. I just feel like everything is a blur when I'm in my episode. So when I do try something, it just feels like I'm not really trying, but I am. So I know
Yeah.
that for me, music really helps. I'm a really artistic person, and like you said in the beginning, when I'm in my I don't know, when I'm in my bag, when I'm doing something creative, I think that's what really gets me out of the funk, is when I'm doing something that I love to do. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out again as a mom too, like how to like give myself time like to myself and like really just like dig into these like passions of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Do you feel like there's things that you and your son could do together that would like, bring you up out of your episodes, or like, any type of creativity things that you and your son could do that could make you like, feel a lot better?
Yeah, girl, when I tell you I'm in the middle of figuring it out, like it's like a everyday type of thing. I feel like I'm figuring it out. So like lately I've been trying to like really get out of the house with him, because I feel like when I'm going through it, like I don't really want him to see that. And
Oh, yeah.
being cooped up in my little apartment, I don't really like doing that. So I try to just get out and like really just get outside and have the sun like shine against my skin and like,
Yes, for
and,
real.
like
For
enjoy
real.
the weather. I love summer, so I love being outside. So I really just try to like plan to do stuff with him, and that's what really helps. But like in the moment type of stuff, like when I'm like, I don't know, when I'm in the moment and I'm with him, I feel like sometimes I just don't know what to do. Like I don't want to always have to like get out of my house. Like I need to cope in the moment more, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I can understand that too. I definitely I don't know. I asked the question about things that you could do with your son because I remember when I got diagnosed with ADHD, and I started like painting and stuff and like just doing things that like I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I started doing those things again, and I know that like I go back and forth between wanting to be a mom, but I know that like the fact that I do paint and I do draw, and like even though those aren't things that I was specifically like trying to make a career out of, but those are things I just enjoy to do. But I do know like if I do decide to have children, like that's one thing that I do want to do with them, just like as a getaway for me for sure, but like just to make sure that like they stay in like their creative
Yeah.
bag, you know. Um, but yeah, girl, I 100% understand not wanting to have to like leave the house to get your mind together, because I feel like girl, I don't know if you feel like this, but I be feeling like the walls are closing in on me. Like when I'm inside and I'm going through it, I'm like,
Slowly. Like,
yes. I be
yeah.
like, oh no, I got to get out of here. So I do feel you. So one thing I do try to do every day is like take my walks. I try to do it every day, but I don't
Yes.
do it every day. Like, just to get some air. Like I always say, like my thoughts need air. They need air.
Mhm.
They need air. Do you ever feel like your thoughts need air?
Yes, I do think sometimes like I get too lost in my thoughts, and so
Mm,
when I am feeling a certain type of an emotion, like I can wake up and just feel so irritated about something, and like sometimes I be making myself trigger too, just by like
girl,
I keep overthinking about past situations, or how I like fucked up in the past, or how this
same.
person's not in my life anymore. And so I'm really trying to work on like building a routine for myself in the morning of
Yeah.
not going on my phone. Like I just need to wake up and just like not think. I just need to go straight to like go make myself a nice drink, a smoothie, because I want to try to
Mm-hmm.
reward myself to look forward to things like that dopamine type of thing,
Yes.
like things that give me dopamine. Like I feel like that's how I'm really gonna get through this, is trying to like romanticize my life a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so like taking those walks and stuff, I think is gonna help with like the thinking, and like you said, like my thinking needs just to like, I
Breathe.
don't know, my brain just needs to
Mm-hmm.
breathe, honestly.
Yes.
So yeah, I just think little things like romanticizing your life, and like not too much though, not too
Yeah.
much.
No, I get you, because we can get a little
Yeah.
delusional.
I begin delusional now. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on the walk, and then I'm gonna go on the whole shopping spree. That can be really frustrating too.
Yeah, it can, because then eventually you got to come down off of that and realize, you know what? I'm actually right here and I'm not there, and I need to like center myself. I think like my biggest goal for all of this is like to master detachment and to master like being in the moment, you know?
Yes. That's
That's
so
my
good.
biggest goal. That's my biggest goal. Like, I really want to master that. Like, I am, like, I've been looking up like different, I feel like I'm just always looking up new things. And it's like, I try
Mm-hmm.
to implement them. And then it's like, when those episodes hit, it's like all that shit goes out the window. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's why I'm
crazy.
like, when you ask me, like, what do I do? I'm like, girl, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying, and actually, so I just seen a psychiatrist,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna have to be in 3 support groups. Like, I got in a little trouble last year. I'm gonna be really transparent with you. Like,
Yeah.
I got a DUI last year.
Mm,
I have a drinking problem, and so I'm trying to be sober. I feel like I drink because like of my feelings. Like, that's really common
yeah.
with BPD. Like, you have some kind of addiction,
Yeah.
and it can come off in different ways. But for me, one of them is alcohol. And so last year I was really going through an episode, and I got into trouble. So I'm required to take 3 support groups, and one of them is DBT. So like, I told my psychiatrist, I'm like, girl, I'm excited.
Okay. Like, I
she's
need
like,
this.
yeah, she's like, I've never seen someone so excited about like taking these groups. And I'm like, I've been searching for this help for a while. Like, there's like
Mm,
no help or resources out there, like,
yeah.
or like these like support groups that I've been wanting to get in. A lot of them don't take insurance either, but mine
Yeah.
does. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I feel
That's
like it
really
was a blessing
cool.
in disguise.
Yes, definitely. What? That's definitely a blessing in disguise. It's so crazy that it took for that to happen, for like that help to be like there for you, you know? It's like, it's crazy because it's like this is one of the hardest personality disorders to have, and it's like
Mhm.
the resources are so like far-fetched. Like, I have an appointment with my therapist, I mean, not my therapist, but my psychiatrist, in about 2 days, and I want to tell her, girl, I need to be in an IOP program
Yes,
because
do
I
it.
need I need help. Like, I
Yeah,
need
and
help
that's what
help.
I've been on too. That's the type of thing I've been on lately too. Like, I realized, I was like, I don't think just therapy is gonna do
Yeah.
it for me. I need like to see other people like relating to me too, and like
Mhm.
I need something that's more active that I can like physically go into weekly. And honestly, sometimes I get sad because I think I'm gonna have to be in this kind of therapy forever.
Mm.
But I don't know. I
Yeah.
Some people are like, BPD is not a death sentence, but like
Yeah.
sometimes it feels like
Feels
it.
like it.
Yeah.
It does. I feel it feels like it for me whenever I feel like when I first got diagnosed, which was like June, I was really like I was like, I can beat this, I can overcome it. But I feel like the more that I'm realizing that this is actually something that's really challenging to get through,
Mhm.
I am accepting the fact that, I'm gonna need long-term help.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm okay with that. I would much rather acknowledge that I need the long term help and get it than to like ignore the fact that I need help. But
Yeah.
I think like the more that it like settles and it sinks in, I'm like, okay, like you're
Yeah.
gonna need help, you're gonna need long term help. And it does feel helpless when I'm going through episodes, but literally when I'm out of them, I'm like, you can do this. Like, you can do this.
Me too. We're so resilient. They say that people with BPD, like the like pros of it is like they're
Mhm.
very loving. They live like when they love you, they love the hell out
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
true.
also very creative, and they're very resilient. And I think that's because we feel things very intensely. And
Yeah.
so when we're in that moment where we're like, I can do this, like that makes us just like really resilient too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that a lot of people with BPD are like that. They're
Mhm.
like, we all can relate somehow, and I think that's just crazy.
100% can relate. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's so crazy because I feel like I've been a very intense feeler uh since a child. Like
Me too.
I've always been that way, and it just has been very strange. And I don't want to say like I was like a psychic or anything, but I
Hmm.
could feel like energy so strongly when I was a kid. Like for example, I remember one time like me and my mom were like into it bad, and her father was an alcoholic,
Hmm.
and it was just like her energy. I was like, oh, I was like, that's not you, that's your dad. And like it was just
Oh, oh
and
my
I
god.
remember saying that to her. And like my mom, when I was younger, like she would never really acknowledge the fact that I could feel so heavily, but like once I got older she did. And
Yeah.
I low key it felt vindicating because I was like, okay, because I thought I was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
thought I was crazy, but you know I wasn't.
Yeah. I can relate. Like, I've always felt very sensitive to the world. Like,
Mhm.
I remember as a kid, like, when it used to rain, I thought it was God crying. I
Aww.
thought it was God crying. So, like, I would get really sad. I would cry too every time it would rain. Like, just little things like that. I always, like, was just very observant too. And,
Mhm.
like, anyone who grew up with me, they knew that I was really shy, but not shy around the right people. I was really
Yeah.
outgoing too, but I was mostly a shy kid because like I always like read people very well, and like I'm also the youngest. Like my sister, she's 8 years older than me,
Oh,
and
okay.
so yeah, so it's just me and her. And then I just grew up seeing a lot of chaos happening, and I was just this little girl, just like what is going
What's going
on?
on?
And so I think
Yeah.
I actually remember as a kid, I remember I actually never told anyone this before, but I used to tap into my like imaginary little mind sometimes just to
Mhm.
escape the world. I remember I had this whole character in my head. I had this whole character in my head as a little girl, and I thought I was her. I don't know if this makes sense, but
No,
I
it
used to
does.
like
I did the
it's just
same.
like how little kids are. You know, they're really
Mhm.
playful and they pretend to be other people. But that's what I did, but I did it in my mind. I
Yeah.
remember doing that as a kid. Like I think that's how I coped with a lot of things, where I just like used to just like zone out. And now as an
Mhm.
adult, I'm doing the same
Same
thing.
thing.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy.
It is crazy. I feel like I did the same thing, but
Really?
yes, I did, but more so it was like I saw myself as like a superstar. Like that was like
Me
my alter ego.
too. Oh, oh my god! I was a celebrity. Literally in my mind, I saw myself as a celebrity.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that is
Yes,
crazy.
girl.
I'm not even capping.
I
I'm
know you're
literally,
not, girl. I know you're not.
girl, that's crazy. I never
Yes.
told anyone that.
Yes, that's literally how I always saw. I'm like I always saw myself as like this person, like oh my gosh, like you know, and
Yeah,
it's so crazy because like now that I'm older, I'm like
you're her.
yes, that not only not like but like
Yeah,
I can see that like in some type of way it worked for me because I have manifested so many cool things into my life, and that's like
me too.
right. And it's like that's what my therapist was telling me. She was like, BPD, there's such a gift that comes with it, but like because it's so difficult to navigate, we don't focus on the gift of it.
Yeah.
And I think this is so cool that I'm getting chills right now. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I know your inner child is just like, oh,
Yeah. Like I feel vindicated, like I'm not crazy.
right.
But it's like and it's so cool because I think that like one of the symptoms of BPD is like seeing yourself as like someone that's unique or whatever. And I'm
Hmm.
like, but we literally are. Like that's not
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? Like that's not a mental thing. Like that's like we literally are super unique, and I can absolutely relate with you saying that you were shy because I feel like I got uncomfortable around a lot of adults when I was younger. I don't know if you dealt with that,
me
but I
too.
some
Social
people
anxiety. I have social anxiety
yeah, I
to
don't
this
have
day.
social anxiety. Maybe it's very mild, but
Hmm.
when I was younger, and I will say I'm gonna tell you about that. When I was younger, a lot of adults made me feel extremely fucking uncomfortable. I don't know what it was, but I did not fuck with too many people when I was a kid.
Me
My
too.
cousins was the homies, and the homies was the homies, and my parents was the homies. Like but and even now, like to this day, a lot of people make me uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
it's like a very specific type of person that I fucks with. But okay, so you say you want to do a podcast. What is it that you
Yeah.
want to do on there, girl?
Girl, I honestly just like I'm trying to debate if I like want to start content creation because I do social media marketing for my job. I
Okay.
work
Oh.
for a candy company and like I do all their social media. I do like their photography and like
Mhm.
I taught myself all of this by myself. Like
Oh wow.
I've only been in this field for like a year because like
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was gonna become a single mom, and so like I just started researching careers that single moms can do, and so marketing came up, and then it just became something I was passionate about. But I'm just seeing so many people make money online, like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, like, and I know they are like, and I was just thinking that I don't want to like become a content creator and like record everything that I'm doing. Like I want to be authentic, and so I think I would start my own podcast and talk about mental health and other things too, being a creative and stuff like that, being a woman, struggles. But I think mainly it would be about mental health because, like, I've always wanted to do something with mental health. I actually was in school for psychology.
Oh,
And
okay.
I dropped out because I didn't want to do it anymore because I was like, I have my own problems. Like, I'm not trying to become a therapist.
Yeah, that's
So
valid.
yeah, and so I actually used to work with kids as well. I worked with them for like almost 3 years in a residential center, and that's the first time I ever heard of BPD, DBT. And so I've always been like a really like a mental health advocate. So I think
Yeah,
that's what my podcast would be about, is just mental health and just like the reality of it, because I just think people don't take it serious, like,
they
until you
don't.
die, honestly. Like,
Yes, that's
yeah.
the one. And then they
Like,
want to
what's
be
it gonna
like,
take?
girl. Then they want to, and then when you die, it's like, oh, if you and you are speak up, reach out. We be reaching out. We
You
be
be
reaching
reaching
out.
out, and then you get called crazy, but then
Mm-hmm.
when you tell people you feel crazy, like, they're just not really validating, and like,
Yeah,
they like I feel like people nowadays don't listen to like actually listen to you. They listen to like say something back,
yeah. To
and that's
respond.
not what you do. Like, when someone is bringing up something that's really traumatizing, like, I'm not gonna sit there and just like say a backhand comment or like
Mm.
say something that's invalidating. Like, I'm gonna validate them, of course. Like, if they're in a situation and they're being delusional and stupid or whatever, like, I'm gonna keep them in their place. But I
Yeah,
just think a lot of people gaslight each other, and like, they don't take mental health serious.
seriously,
Like,
I agree.
they don't listen.
They don't. They don't listen. We be suffering like,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of people that are suffering. I actually just talked to one of my mutuals, and she was telling me about the fact that she has major depressive disorder, and
Mhm.
she talked about it on her page, but I didn't even know that was like a thing. Like I just thought
I don't
that
even know
there
what
was
that
like,
is.
it's like depression to like the 10th freaking power. Like
Oh my
it's,
goodness.
yeah, so it's like you stay in bed, like you just like you don't, like you're basically crippled for real from your mind, and it's like
So
I didn't
severe
know.
depression.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I get most of the time. Like, I get like that. I'm not sure
hmm
if you get like that. Do you?
I don't, honestly. I never
Really?
really like dealt with depression in my life. I would say more so on the side of like boredom. Like when I'm bored, that should be driving me crazy. And anxiety is more of my thing.
Oh,
Anxiety
so
be
more
messing
like
me up.
manic and stuff.
Yeah, I'm more. Yeah.
I feel like like, I get like that. Like, I actually was diagnosed with, like, at first they told me like you have severe depression and
hmm
severe anxiety, and then they're like, oh wait, you have BPD, and then the other day they're like, oh, you have BPD and you're bipolar and you have ADHD, and I was like, oh, and then like, oh, you have severe psychosis too, and I was like, what?
What?
Okay, what is going on? Like, I need to
For
see
real.
the right person. So that's crazy though that like your friend is experiencing that. Like, there's
Yeah.
just so many things out there that people experience, but like nobody takes it serious.
Yeah, I was okay, so I've been working with this young lady. I'll send you her information, but she's been helping me with like my branding stuff. So, like we haven't started like officially working together, but we've had a few meetings about like what she wants to do with my brand. And I told her that I want to do like a gala where we come together and we do like art and mental health, like, and combine it and talk about like what creativity and art does for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but make it like a gala, like a suit and tie event,
Yeah.
um so like I definitely want to like include like all of us in it, like me, you, Coca,
Yes. Oh
Just
my gosh,
all of,
I love her.
me too, me too. But I definitely want to like do that. And just like all of us like come together and see how we can like make that happen. But like the first
Yes.
one, I want it to be about BPD because I just feel like it's just not. We got to talk about this more because
We
it's so many.
have to.
We have to talk about it more because it's so many people that are suffering, and I think that a lot of people think that like because I see in my comments a lot. I see a lot of women, especially Black women, saying like, "Oh, that's not normal." No,
No, it's not.
no, no.
And
I'm
you know what?
sorry.
Not everyone has BPD
Mhm.
because, like, you can experience things that are similar to BPD.
Yeah.
Like, you can be like really depressed, or like you can be really sad over something, or really impulsive. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have
Have
BPD.
BPD.
There's
Yeah.
like certain criteria that you need that means that you have BPD. So like every time I talk about it with people, they're like, "Well, I experienced that, so like you must like." I must have BPD or like it must not be real. And I'm like, no, you
Mhm.
don't get it. Like,
That's the
ah, shut
thing.
up.
Yes, they oversimplify it. They oversimplify it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, like everyone experiences that. You don't experience it the way that I experience it, bitch. Because I'm experiencing it with a
Yes.
whole other thing, a lot of other things coupled up with this one thing. So that makes it even more extreme than what you're experiencing. And if it is
Yeah.
something you're experiencing, bitch, you need to go get your ass checked out. Cause
Yeah. And I experienced like a lot of shame. Like a lot of shame a
oh, of
lot of
course,
times
yeah.
because of first of all, my own decisions. You know, I've been in really shitty situations before, and I'm still suffering the consequences of it. But also, I've been carrying a lot of other people's shame that they put on me because, like,
Yeah.
it's so easy to like put it on me because, like, I'm such a vulnerable person.
Yep.
And, like, it's so easy to be like, oh, she's acting weird. Like, no, I'm actually like dealing with something like. So I experience a lot of shame all the time. Like I've lost a lot of friendships, and some of the reasons because of me, some of the reasons because it was both of us. But like I
Mhm.
find myself grieving a lot, and so I'm just coming to my senses, and I'm like, I just think I need to surround myself with people that like get me, you know. And so get me, like they don't have to all the way get me, but like
Mhm.
that support me and like that just get it, you know. And so
Yeah.
I would love to like meet y'all and like do an
Of
event like
course.
that because that's the way that we're gonna get better,
I
honestly.
agree. Being in community with people who understand your struggles, it's like it's only so much you can tell people who aren't going through it. Um,
Yeah.
it's only so much you can say because at the end of the day, they're not going through it. But I will say that
Mhm.
people that do care about you will, they will look into what you're going through. This I saw this girl in my comments, bro. She said that her best friend got either her best friend or one of her friends got diagnosed with BPD, and she read a book so she could understand her
Oh
like.
my
Isn't
gosh.
that so sweet? Like that be
Yeah.
that, and it's so crazy because that's the type of shit that people with BPD would do for other people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's the type of thing that we do for other people. So it's like I think for us, like when we don't understand when people don't like go above and beyond for us because we literally do it for other people. And that's not to say that we're like these angels, because I got
We're
my shit with
not.
me. Okay, I got my shit with
I'm
me
not perfect. Like I
at
have a
all.
hard time with
Mhm.
relationships and like they're really hard for me. I don't know about you, but
Oh, definitely.
relationships are so hard for me, like with family and like
Mhm.
friends. And a lot of it is because of both parties. Like, it's not just on one party. Like,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
my fault too. Like, I'm trying to navigate through this, but like, also, we're not the only people that are going through stuff. Like, other people are
Yes.
going through their own things. And like, I feel like when I'm vulnerable, people think I'm saying that I'm the only one going through this. And I'm
Yes.
like, no, I'm just being vulnerable about what I'm going through.
Going
Like, if
through.
you're
Yeah.
going through it too, that's fine. But like, I'm just talking to you about what I'm going
Yes.
through. So I
Yes.
just find myself isolating a lot
Me
because
too.
I feel like no one gets me. And honestly, it makes me really sad because like I love connecting with people. I love to talk to people, and,
Same.
and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I
Yes.
don't. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, zip it up, like I'm
Yeah.
over here looking, I'm anxious. But other
Mhm.
times I'm like, I love connecting with people, and like the fact that I have to isolate to feel safe, like, really sucks.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But I've been like that for so long. It's like I feel like I'm now in a space where like I want to get out, but I honestly like the more I really explore this, the more kind of like nervous I get because I'm about to move to Houston, and
Oh
I
my
know that
god.
I know I'm so excited, but I'm like really nervous because
I don't know. I just feel like I'm weird. You know,
Yeah.
like I just feel like I'm really weird, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to. I don't even want to say fit in, but I'm trying to like learn how to, when to be vulnerable with people and when to like
Yeah.
relax. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to come around groups and just be like really, really quiet because I'm like, who this weird ass bitch? And
Yeah.
but I
I'll
don't
be
want to be like,
observing you.
yes, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just overthink it for sure. But that's why I'm trying to like before I do move, I really want to like practice being in a moment and just
Yes.
being because I
Because who
want to.
cares at the end of the day about fitting in, you know?
Yes. Oh yeah. Nobody give a fuck about that. Like like that.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed. I'm clearly off the shit. So,
Yeah.
like I'm
Mhm.
not trying to fit in, but it's like,
You're just different. You're
hmm
different from other people, and like
yeah,
the fact that like your moods and your emotions be switching up so quick, like that's confusing for you. Like for
yeah.
me, that's confusing for me. Like sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world and I'm a bad bitch. I can do anything. And then
Okay.
there's other moments where I don't feel like that person. And like sometimes it will come off like when I'm around other people, you know, and sometimes I don't even know who I am. I be feeling empty. I be feeling
Yes.
so empty sometimes. Like someone, like we could be hanging out and like someone could be like talking to me. I'm having a great time, but then all of a sudden I'm getting these weird feelings of emptiness again, and I don't
Yes.
know why. And
Yeah.
the fact that I'm dealing with it by myself in my head, like it just makes me not really want to hang out with anyone because like I don't know what's going to happen. And so that's why when I go out with people, I have a drinking problem. I have a
Yeah.
drinking problem, or I'm going to spend all my money because I'm doing these things to make myself feel comfortable. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to learn how to be sober again. And I'm trying to do what you're doing, just like really enjoy being in the moment before I can be in a romantic relationship and before I can find like my people again.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. I think also like I don't know. I think because when I was younger, I'm I'm an old lady now. I'm 28. When I was younger, I feel like I isolated so much, and I won't say that I regret it because I don't.
Hmm.
Um, but I will say that like I want to start talking about these things more and like start clicking up with like different people who have different mental health issues because I don't want people that are so young to feel like they have to do this alone, like isolate, like there's people out in the world that are willing to understand you and see you and love you, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I think that like it's just important for us to have spaces where we can find people that are like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you noticed, but it's a motherfucking loneliness epidemic going on all
There
throughout.
is, yeah.
Yes, like so many people are feel alone and feel lonely, and it's like I felt that for so long in my early 20s, and like just honestly up until maybe last year, um, and I don't think that people have to isolate. You know what I'm saying? Even like with relationships, like I feel like people should be able to be in relationships even if they have their mental health problems because we're here to help each other. We're
And
here to
communicate.
connect. Yes, we're here to connect, and I just want people to feel that because I
Yeah.
didn't feel that at all. I wanted to just be by myself
Me
24/7, like.
too.
And
Yeah.
I probably came out the house, girl. I'm not even lying. I probably came out the house maybe like 3 times a year. And when I say
Really.
yes, because I live like all the way on the other side of the country from like all my family and like friends and stuff. So like and I'm not gonna say like I was super anti, but I took a lot of time. I would go out by myself all the time out here, and then like I would go home like every once in a blue moon, like and go back home and visit. But majority of the
Hmm.
time I was by myself. Like I did a lot of things by myself, and I'm grateful for that time that I spent. But I definitely think there could have been more of a balance,
Yeah.
because I don't know. I guess I kind of just, I don't want to say I got full of myself, but I just started to think like I'm the only person living in my own world. And it's like, that's not how it works. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
mhm,
Like, I've isolated a lot, like when I was younger after my mom died, and then I was dealing with my dad. He was really narcissistic.
Yeah.
And I really think that's what really messed me up was my dad. So a lot of the time I spent a lot of the time in my room, and so as
Yeah.
an adult, I'm 24. I'm about to be 25 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, so in my early 20s, I spent a lot of time alone, and then in really bad relationships as well.
Mm-hmm.
Really toxic, really like just like my dad too. And those mess me up too. So like I feel like barely now I'm about to be 25. Like I'm a mom now. I feel like now I'm kind of breaking through, but like my mind, my soul, my body is fighting back. It's like, no, we want to do these things that are unhealthy. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to do all these things like meditate, paint, but like my mind and my body is like, no, like
Yeah.
go be self-destructive. That's what you've been doing. Like, so I be crying sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know it's a process, but like, damn, this
Yeah.
is the shit, and I can't believe some people really they die and they don't really get to experience like healing the
Yeah.
way that like we are. And so I'm grateful that like I'm really taking my healing process serious, because like some people don't even get to this point. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine like being someone like my dad and like still being the same person that he was. So I know the work that we're doing is going to pay off, like even in
Yeah.
a few years. The fact that we're still here, like
Yes.
just imagine in a few years how you're gonna be. Like
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm
Me too.
excited, but also I'm tired.
Me too. Okay. And but
Yeah.
I do get what you mean. Like just the fact that we have the ability to be hopeful, and stay grateful in this moment, regardless of like what we feel like in the moment. It's like that is a gift in itself, and I agree, like not everybody gets to experience that. And I will say, like, I thank God for that all the time. I'm like, thank you for making me a
Yes.
grateful person. Thank you for making me hopeful. Even when I go through episodes and I feel down, but I still get out of that and I bounce back like even
Like
better,
nothing. Yeah.
and um dang, I was about to say something to you, girl. I was gonna say that I saw a video and this guy was saying that BPD is like the scapegoat disorder, and he was saying that in narcissistic like family dynamics, there's yeah, he was saying that in narcissistic family dynamics, there's one child that has to feel all of the things that are like being hidden from the outside, and that's the BPD person. And then when he said that, like I literally cried the entire night. Yes, girl.
And that makes sense because like my dad, supposedly he's bipolar. My mom is bipolar.
Mhm.
My sister's bipolar, and like I feel like I just got BPD. Like I don't
Yeah.
know if they had BPD, but like I know that my dad, I'm pretty sure he has narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of just like goes down the line until someone is like willing to like break through it. And I feel like we are that
That
person.
benefit. Yes, there you
Yeah,
go.
and
There
I
you
feel like my sister too. My sister,
go.
like
Mhm.
her too. Even though we have our issues, like
Yeah.
she's very resilient as well. And like
Yeah.
I feel like as the youngest though, that just makes so much sense. Like,
Yeah. I'm the
oh
youngest
my
too. Me and my
god,
brother
that's
are 7
crazy.
years apart. Mhm.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
so you're the youngest?
Mhm. I'm the baby. Yep.
See,
Mhm.
see.
Yep. I'm telling you. It's like a thing. It's a thing. I'm like it's one kid in the family that's supposed to like so it's like I try to see like the spiritual side of it, but I also like acknowledge the earthly part of it more because this is where I'm at and this is where I want to put most of my focus at. But I
Yeah.
do know that there's God up there helping me like navigate
Yeah.
all of these things. So
No, yeah. I do
yeah.
think I try to be spiritual too. Like
Yeah.
I really want to go back to church
Me.
because I
Yep.
love I love God. Like I know He loves me, and the
Mhm.
fact that I'm still here is because of Him.
Yeah.
And I don't have a specific religion that I would practice because I've been in so many as a kid. Like I have a really big family, so I got to see all kinds of different ones.
Mhm.
But like I'm also in a place where I'm trying to figure out what is best for me and my son. So I don't know which religion I would practice, but yeah, I do try to be grateful too. Like that's what really helps me get by is just being grateful and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree with that. Like I want to go back to church. I don't know, I haven't been to church in so long, but I'm like I just want to get back at least into a prayer life, a
I need a
consistent prayer life.
spiritual something so I
Yes.
can
Yes.
practice gratitude and just like,
Yes.
praying and stuff like that.
I agree with that. I'm 100%. I hear you, sister. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why they say with BPD they say stuff like EMDR is really helpful and DBT, but
mhm.
also like somatic therapy and like holistic therapy is really
Yeah.
good for people with BPD because it's kind of like a mixture of like all the things,
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just think it like BPD is more like a brain thing. It's
Mhm.
they should call it a brain disorder, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
So practicing like holistic therapy and like somatic exercise and stuff, I think will help everybody really, but
Mhm.
especially people with BPD, it's really helpful. And
Yeah.
so I try to find a therapist that does both, like DBT and like stuff like that. But it's
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think I'm gonna ask my psychiatrist about that. Like, they have like stuff called like art therapy,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I don't know. I wanna try it all. Like, give it all to me, and I'll see which one makes me feel the best, and we'll go from there. Like,
Yeah. I'm just such an open book. Like I'm
hmm
not afraid to try new things. Like I just want to get better.
me too.
I just want to get better. I feel like I'm always working on myself too, which really sucks.
Same.
Um, so I just know my 30s are about to be lit, cause
Okay, popping.
yeah, because I've spent my whole life trying to work on myself, and like that's my goal for my son. Like we're already in a situation where like I'm a single mom and like I'm my son's only parent, but like
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that my son's life is over. Like I don't
of
want him to
course.
spend his whole life trying to freaking heal from his childhood. So like
Yeah,
I have to get better. I have no choice. I have
yeah,
to get better.
yeah, and that's a good motivating force that you have in your life. I
Mhm.
understand that. And I love that you want to be better for him because that absolutely
Yeah.
matters. It
He
absolutely.
didn't ask to be here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay. And it got to end somewhere. So,
Yeah.
yes. So, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Like I hope you know that like you can get through this. Like we're gonna get through this, and like you have my number now,
Of
so you
course.
can
Okay.
text me or FaceTime me, whatever.
Okay. For sure. I'm so excited.
I
Yay.
know.
Okay.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, and when it comes to the podcast, girl, FaceTime me and I'll help you set everything up. I can actually, honestly,
Yeah.
when we get off of here, I'll send you like all of the tools that I use for my podcast. I can show you like what I use for just when I'm doing an individual podcast. Is that how you're gonna start off, individual first, just by yourself, or you wanna?
Yeah, I was thinking of I might just do like regular videos on my phone and just post them like on TikTok and stuff.
Okay.
And do it that way, and then maybe the longer versions can be on YouTube. But I don't know. I haven't even looked into it yet, so
Okay, well, I'll send. How about this? I will send you a voice note of like
yes.
all of the information that that I've done, like that I've used, all of that stuff, and then I'll send you like the links of the microphones, the camera, which is just my phone, but
Mhm.
this streaming service that I'm using right now is literally super free. Um,
Okay.
so
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Okay.
So okay, girl. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of On Assignment for Alignment podcast. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.